Becoming a boss is something that many strive to do, but few actually achieve their goal. Generally, this is the problem not with the field that they're going into, but with the person being ill-prepared. It can seem easy to get into a field with an idea that you're excited about, but once you actually have to start supporting yourself on that idea, it can get a little hairy. It's important to understand what it means to be an entrepreneur before you actually try to be one. In an interview with today's engineer and Dr. Campbell Bennett, the Dean of the College of Engineering at Texas A&M in July 2007, he defined being an entrepreneur as one who can look at a company and want to advance its products, understands the marketplace, can communicate ideas very well, and also works in groups and teams well. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines an entrepreneur as one who organizes, manages, and can handle all the risks of managing a business or enterprise. Every entrepreneur, businessman, and inventor has had to ask themselves when they are trying to get out into the world what that means and entails. Where do I start? What are my resources? And where will I go? It's important to understand that being an entrepreneur is pretty risky. The diagram from Intuit Small Business on screen shows that 49% of small businesses have a chance of failing within the first 5 years of operation. You also have to understand that it's a very big time commitment. Yet, small business owners will generally put around 15 to 16 hours a day aside to work on their small business. You also have to understand that your personality might just not be right to be an entrepreneur or be your own boss. You have to have enough self-control to manage yourself. You no longer have that boss do that for you. You also have to be ambitious enough. Make sure that when you control yourself that you're excited about it. It has to be an idea that you like so that you have fun doing it. If you are ambitious enough and you can control yourself, then you also have to be able to be comfortable with taking risks. When you start your small business, there's lots of big choices that can be made that can either make or break your small business. And if you aren't comfortable with that idea, then being an entrepreneur just might not be for you. If it indeed is for you, then you have to figure out a few things. You have to figure out what your inspiration is. Why do you want to become an entrepreneur? Is it just because you didn't like your old boss? Or is it because of some idea that you've had ever since you were a kid? You have to figure out where the inspiration comes from. Whether you looked up to your departed grandfather, or you've had a competition all your life with one of your friends, or it's just something you find fascinating. Whatever it may be, you have to pin it down, because that's where all of your ideas and goals will stem from. Once you've done that, you can accurately find a goal. Where do you want your small business to go? If you can find your goal, then you'll be able to draw out a business plan later in the planning process. Your goal can be to sell so many units, to make a change in this child's life. Whatever the field you're going into, an appropriate goal is needed. Once you've got that down, you have to ask yourself, what's my idea? How am I going to do that goal? You probably already have an idea of what your idea is. But you have to ask yourself now that, is your idea plausible? Many inventors will have a problem where they'll have an idea, but it's not plausible. You cannot market it. It's not cost effective. So you have to make sure that what you're going to base your small business on is. That makes for a business plan even easier to be made. Once you've decided that your idea is plausible, then you have to figure out what resources do you already have. Do you have enough manpower? Can you do it yourself? If it's a physical field, then can you lift the things yourself? Or do you need more hands? If it's a service, do you have enough organization or time management to be able to do that? Whatever it may be, you have to make sure that you can do it. And the key to that is to having a good workplace, an office, a workshop, a warehouse, whatever your field needs. You have to make sure that you have proper space set aside. Once you do, then you can find your employees or whatever help that you need. If you don't just plainly know enough, then maybe you want to get into the circuit field, but you don't know what that entails. You don't know exactly how a circuit board is made. You have to go figure that out. Unless you are hiring somebody or you have a team member at your side that knows the process, you need to figure that out on your own, because you're going to have to know the ins and outs of every aspect of your small business. You can go to the public library. You can go ask professors. The internet has great resources, such as Code Academy, whatever your field is, there are plenty of resources on YouTube and anywhere else. Then you have to ask yourself, what do I do now? I've got all this planning. I know my inspiration, I know my goal, I know everything I need to know. But where do I go from that now? This is where you draw out your business plan. Your business plan has to be solid, and you have to share it with every team member. And your business plan cannot have a definite end. Your business plan is more of a long-term plan, but not quite to the end. If your business plan has an end, then that's where your business will stop growing. Once you're able to draw up a business plan on what you need to do by when, then you have a solid foundation to start your business. Once you have that, you can present it to investors, get capital, and start making your product or offering your service, whatever it may be. Now you have to get your name out. You can use standard networking techniques such as going to conventions, maybe parties, whatever it may be. You can also use the internet, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. These are all great social media places, websites to make a presence in. Having a website is not a bad idea either. It puts your name out in a very clean way in whatever way you want it to be. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to make sure that you understand what it entails, what your resources are, and where you can go. And your commitment and time will surely be a reward. So I ask you, how far can you go?